Most people get this wrong when they try to start a company in Panama. They think it is just a quick offshore registration, and everything else will take care of itself. But that assumption leads to delays, banking issues, and sometimes even rejected applications. Here's the truth no one tells you. Panama is one of the most powerful jurisdictions for international business, but only if you follow its legal system correctly from the beginning. It is structured, formal, and heavily document-driven. In this video, you are going to learn exactly how to start a company in Panama step by step in 2026. From choosing your company structure, to legal registration, tax setup, banking approval, and the mistakes that quietly destroy most applications before they even get approved. And stay with me, because in a minute, I'll show you the one requirement that most foreign founders underestimate, and it is the reason many business bank accounts get rejected in Panama. Let's start right away. The first thing you need to understand is that Panama is not just an offshore-friendly country. It is also a highly regulated financial hub. That means the system is designed to support international business but also to enforce strict compliance. So everything starts with choosing the right company structure. In Panama, the most common business entity is the Sociedad Anónima, or SA. This is the standard corporate structure used for international businesses, holding companies, trading companies, and service providers. Now here's where most beginners make their first mistake. They assume all company types are basically the same. But in Panama, structure determines banking access, tax obligations, and even how easily you can operate internationally. The SA structure is flexible. It allows shareholders, directors, and corporate ownership. It does not require you to be a resident. And it is widely accepted by banks and international partners. This is why most foreign entrepreneurs choose it. But here's the problem. Many people choose it without understanding how it must be structured legally. And that leads to complications during registration, or later, during compliance checks. Now, let's break down what actually goes into forming a Panamanian company. The first step is choosing a company name. Your company name must be unique and approved by the public registry in Panama. This is important because Panama does not allow duplicate or confusingly similar names. For example, if Alex tries to register Global Trade Solutions SA, but a similar name already exists, his application may be rejected or delayed. So you must do a proper name availability check before anything else. Now here's where it gets interesting. In Panama, your company name approval is not just administrative. It becomes part of your legal identity. So once approved, it is tied to your corporate structure permanently, unless officially changed. The second step is defining your directors. A Panama corporation requires at least 3 directors. These can be individuals or entities. They do not need to be residents of Panama. This is one of the reasons Panama is attractive for international founders. You can fully own and control your company without relocating. But here's a critical detail most people overlook. The directors listed are publicly registered. That means transparency is built into the system. Now, imagine Jake, a digital entrepreneur, registering a company without understanding this. He assumes everything is private. Later, he discovers that director information is publicly accessible. This surprises many first-time founders. So you must be aware of this transparency requirement from the beginning. Next comes shareholders. A Panama company requires at least 1 shareholder. This shareholder can be a foreign individual or a legal entity. There is no requirement for local ownership. This flexibility is one of the strongest advantages of Panama's system. Now let's talk about the legal formation process. Panama companies are formed through a public deed. This is created by a Panamanian notary public. This step is mandatory and cannot be skipped. The notary prepares the articles of incorporation, which include the company name, directors, shareholders, capital structure, and internal rules. Now here's where most people underestimate complexity. The articles of incorporation are not just a form. They are the legal foundation of your company. Everything depends on how they are drafted. If they are too generic, banks may question your business model later. If they are too restrictive, your operations may be limited. So this step requires careful planning. Once the deed is signed, it is submitted to the Public Registry of Panama for official incorporation. At this point, your company becomes legally recognized. But you are not done yet. Now comes tax registration. Panama operates on a territorial tax system. This means that in many cases, income generated outside of Panama is not taxed locally. However, this depends on how your company operates and where your income is sourced. Now here's where confusion happens. Many people assume Panama means zero taxes automatically. But that is incorrect. Tax obligations depend on business activity, physical presence, and income classification. So proper structuring is essential. After incorporation, you must register with the Panamanian Tax Authority, known as the Dirección General de Ingresos. This gives your company a tax identification number, which is required for compliance and banking. Now let's move to one of the most critical steps: banking. Opening a corporate bank account in Panama is often the hardest part of the entire process. And here's why. Banks in Panama are extremely strict with compliance. They require full documentation, proof of business activity, source of funds, and sometimes even interviews with company owners. This is due to international anti-money laundering regulations. So if your documents are incomplete or your business model is unclear, your application may be rejected. Now, let's take an example. Alex tries to open a corporate account with just his incorporation documents. He gets rejected. Jake prepares a complete package: company documents, business plan, proof of income sources, client contracts, and clear explanation of operations. His account gets approved. The difference is preparation and transparency. Now here's the hidden detail most guides miss. Banks in Panama often evaluate risk based on your industry. Some industries are considered higher risk, such as crypto, trading, or offshore consulting. That does not mean you cannot operate. It just means you must provide stronger documentation. Now let's talk about timelines. The incorporation process in Panama is relatively fast. In many cases, a company can be formed within a few days to a couple of weeks. But banking can take longer. Sometimes several weeks depending on due diligence. Now here's where most people lose patience. They assume the process should be instant. But Panama is not a one-click jurisdiction. It is structured, legal, and compliance-driven. Now let's go over additional requirements. Depending on your business activity, you may need a commercial license. This is called a municipal license and is issued by local authorities. If your company operates physically in Panama, this becomes mandatory. If you operate offshore without local activity, requirements may differ. Now let's talk about costs. Company formation costs in Panama include notary fees, legal services, registration fees, and ongoing annual maintenance fees. While not the cheapest jurisdiction, it offers strong legal protection and international recognition. Now here's something most beginners ignore. Panama companies require annual maintenance. This includes renewal fees, registered agent services, and compliance updates. If you ignore this, your company can be suspended or dissolved. Now let's talk about common mistakes. The first mistake is choosing a structure without understanding banking requirements. The second mistake is submitting incomplete incorporation documents. The third mistake is not preparing for bank due diligence. The fourth mistake is assuming tax obligations are zero without verification. Each of these mistakes can delay or block your business setup. Now, let's simplify the entire process into a clear sequence. First, choose your company name. Second, appoint directors and shareholders. Third, draft the articles of incorporation with a notary. Fourth, register your company in the public registry. Fifth, obtain your tax identification number. Sixth, prepare banking documentation and apply for a corporate account. Seventh, complete any municipal licensing if required. Eighth, maintain annual compliance and renewals. If you follow these steps in order, your process becomes structured and predictable. Now here's the final insight. Starting a company in Panama is not just about formation. It is about long-term compliance and financial credibility. The companies that succeed are not the ones that register fastest. They are the ones that structure correctly and maintain transparency from day one. To summarize everything, You learned how Panama company structures work. You saw how incorporation through a notary and public registry functions. You understood tax registration, banking requirements and compliance obligations. And you also learned the most common mistakes that slow down foreign entrepreneurs. If you are planning to start a company in Panama, focus on preparation, not speed. The system rewards accuracy and documentation, not shortcuts. If this guide helped you understand the process clearly, make sure to like the video, leave a comment with your questions, and subscribe for more step-by-step international business guides. It will help you avoid costly mistakes and build your company the right way from the beginning.